Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Um, Rito here with the video blog with Aaron, so I will let Aaron start.
Well, we are going to be reviewing not the entire collection. This is the Disgaea collection on PS3. I'll tell you one thing, if you like the Disgaea series, you pretty much can buy just this game and you could probably use your PS3 for like the next 10 years. Seriously, this is level crunching mayhem. That's part of the fun of Disgaea. It's also a strategy game. But we're going to only be talking about Disgaea D2, which can be sold separately, but you can buy this collection for almost as much as buying D2 alone. I think it's $21 for D2 and $40 for the collection. So it's like buy two, get one free, and you also save like $5 on two or something. Anyways, let's get to Disgaea D2.
I found it to be what they really got to say about it is it's a pure level crunching. Just like CGR Undertow said, it is more of a, what do you call it? More of a level grinding machine, basically, where you can just purely level grind till your heart's content. The maximum level per character is 9,999. And if you really want to complete everything they say from all of it, which
you have to go into your weapons, and you can upgrade them by doing levels through the weapons. We haven't even gotten to that point yet. This is played out on a grid. It's kind of chess-like. You can pull out, it seems, almost as many characters as you want to fight on the board. Some of them have various differences. Of course, it's like chess. Anyone with a gun can shoot forward and sideways, but nowhere else. Mages have kind of a small square they work in. Different spells have larger ranges or smaller ranges. There are combos where you can end up having a human character climb on the back of a monster character, and they do special moves. For instance, if you use one of the printies, which Disgaea is famous for, they're like a penguin with like a pack around, and if you throw them, they explode on people, but you climb on their back, they kind of do this thing that's like a tribute to Bomberman. And they end up, having a grid, and characters run around, putting bombs, blowing up obstacles. Then they end up getting power-ups, and then they attack the enemy. It's actually rather cool. It gives what do you call it? More options. However, it is a slower option because you also have to watch the cutscene. I haven't figured out how to skip that yet. There's also a thing where you can have 4 characters lined up side by side or behind, whatever, and you can attack a character, and 1 or 2 might help, or all 3 that are extra might help, and then you get a special attack as well. Which is kind of cool, and you build up friendships with your other characters. I don't even know if there's a max number of characters you can have on your team. We should check someday.
I was browsing, and I don't have confirmation yet, but I will share it with Aaron tonight on one of the videos we'll be watching, which is a review by CGR Undertow, who shows, I believe it's the second one in the PS2 version, where that shows all the characters. You know how you have to evolve them and you get stronger? This one here looked like 10 rows of people. Just purely you tend to...
But how many can you have in your party? I don't know. Anyways, right now I think you got something like 40 or 50 in your party.
No, I don't. It keeps telling me I can get 10 more. And then when I get 5 more, it already says I can get 10 more. So this game is basically really cool. And I find it to be very, very... good.
Well, I know that my game, because I got a second game that I only play like once a week or so. This week it looks like I'll get 2 plays. I have about 12 characters right now for my team, and I can pull them all out at one time. You end up earning what's called mana, which in most games, mana is magic, which you can use to cast magic spells. I'm playing Atelier Iris right now, too. And while playing that, the mana actually works to synthesize items so that you can use in battle. So it's not always magic related. In this game, mana is only used in the council to upgrade characters, buy characters, etc. Eventually, we should try to get into those 5,000 point ones and really do them up. But of course, we're still beginning of this game, and Rita's already got what, like 30 hours?
Yep.
And I got like 4 hours in it. So Rita's way ahead of me. Most of her characters are level 10 or higher that she has. Let's see, what else can you say about it? Oh, there's what's called geostones. And if you ever see in the things how there's like a brightly colored section all red and then a brightly colored section green, and it seems like, well, this looks weird. Each space does a different bonus. Sometimes it helps the enemy, sometimes it helps yourself. Monster boost or human boost.
Have you went through a blue one yet?
No.
The blue one in that, talking about the geostone, mute. So you can never use any magic in that blue field.
Interesting. Well, it changes also. They're not always the same.
The one that I went through in the first one, no, in the first area, close to where you got to beat the boss in the first chapter, there's a area where you get 3 geo colors, but the problem with it is the blue one's always there. I've cleared it over 50 times, and the blue one's always there that say mute.
Ah. Well, it could just be that level. I think the earlier one it's not. I don't know. Anyways, you can use geospheres to toss them onto other colored sections, and you can hit the geosphere to break it, basically, and it can have some effect on the current geosphere it's sitting on, like changing the color. That adds another level to it. The one thing I think that I don't like about it is the number of menus. There are like too many menus. You have character menus, and then there's an option I haven't figured out yet. It's called Accept Apprentice. I don't know what that means. Have you tried it yet?
No, I haven't, but there is.
We mentioned it last night. I figured you played last night.
I didn't play it last night.
Oh, okay.
I went and was trying to get ready for bed. That's why I was up early doing the cleaning.
Then there's the equipment ability to equip things, which that's a standard, but it doesn't seem you could do that in battle. You can only do that when you're back at base. On the field, you click X to set up what type of attacks you want to do, or move that you want to do, or defend that you want to do. But to execute that move, you have to set your move. Then you have to hit triangle and hit execute to have it execute. And then after that, you can hit end turn, but you have to hit triangle again to end turn. Now, last time I made a mistake once and ended turn before executing, and it seems that it will auto-execute for you when you end your turn. So that comes in handy, but the execute solo comes in handy, say, if you want to make sure that you kill a certain enemy and you manage to leave it with like 1 hit point and you want that thing gone now, you might be able to bring out another character who can get the last hit on it. So there is some strategy in that too. You can also, if you find that you've made a mistake, like you want this character to hop on the back of that one and you took the one character too far, you can click circle to end up going back. So it's like a delete move, delete move. You can't delete a move on a dead character, though, and have your character come back to life and decide to move them elsewhere. You can only take back like the first 2 or 3 moves for that character that you can actually physically click on. And you know, I think that's actually a good thing with the game. It's kind of a unique setup. That way, if you didn't strategize correct and you could see that you didn't, it's like a do-over in a game of chess. So that's nice, because in chess you don't have a do-over. You touch a piece and even move it slightly, you can't put it back on the board until you've moved it. You can't just say, oh, I don't want to move this one, I want to move this one. Can't do it. Once you've picked up a piece, you have to move it. And you can't pick up another piece, so.
CGR Undertow basically stated, bless his heart, sad he left. He was a great reviewer. Same with Mark Bessler, you know, Lord Carnage. But they basically said that these RPGs...
She's a big fan of them.
And these guys both said that besides this game being the level crunching machine that it is, which it is, I mean, look at me, I've spent 30 hours. The other thing about the game is this game, give me the box for a second, thank you. These games are not the games that you would be thinking about playing like him. If you play Itilia or Iris, for example, or Final Fantasy, you're going to sit there and say, oh, this is a game type thing that Aaron probably could agree with me, Rita, you know, that when it comes to a game like this, it's a love-or-hate relationship because this is what they call the hardcore of RPGing.
I wouldn't say that.
That's what the boys
I know right now I won't say that. It's a level crunching machine, that's for certain. Now, something I want to get to is, me personally, I usually dislike strategy-based RPGs. So, if you're like me and you just don't like the chessboard grid layout, partially, then, you know, this game will still be for you, I think. When it comes down to my experiences with them in the past, you usually recruit army, which costs you money, and your army gets killed and you got to go recruit more army. And that's kind of no fun in my opinion, especially when it seems right at the beginning of the game, your armies are not strong enough to take on any armies. And it's like, what do I do to make my team strong enough to actually beat these things? You know, give me some of the easiest enemies so that it's, you know, and sometimes they throw you right into really hard battles, and that's just no fun. With this, they start you out real simple. You could redo a level, and each level is a board, and you just redo the level. And
that's a way to level crunch. However, I will tell you that higher, like in Act 2 where I'm at, I have Map 1 and Map 2 open. I've never tried Map 2, but the thing is certain characters at high enough levels, past 10, can actually take on enemies by themselves. I could use the main character, Laharl, to go through and try to take on all of them just with the mage to heal up. And you work your levels that way. But if you get weaker levels, you go back to Act 1 maps because you got to start somewhere to build up those levels because, you know, it's very difficult. You send a level 1 into an area with level 15 Goonies.
You're going to get killed real quick.
Right.
In fact, I have a mage that I was trying to take into level 4, and any enemy on that level could kill my mage in one hit, so I had to be very careful to protect the mage and only use it for healing. It still got killed a couple times. But with this game, instead of having to go and re-recruit or buy new troops, you just go in and you go to the hospital and revive them. Now, of course, it costs money, but the amount of level crunching you'll do at the beginning, you're going to earn enough money that it's not really going to matter too much.
I wanted to say, when it comes to the game, I've heard you can beat it between 80 and 100 for the main storyline, which is about 60 to 100 hours, more likely 100. But I've also said you can crank out 400 to 600 to do completionist and get all your entire army to level 9999. Or as they said with CGR Undertow, you can spend the next 10 years in one game alone.
Exactly. And so if you can afford a PS3 and you don't think you can afford too many games, this might be the game for you because it'll keep you very, very busy.
I do want to
In fact, I'm getting Disgaea, the first Disgaea game on PS2 sometime real soon because right now my PS3 needs to go in for repairs. And so I'm going to go back and play one of the original ones on PS2 because my PS2 works and I got to have a game. And split pants.
Continue.
Split pants are cool. Not. Anyways, there is a wide variety of characters. You got like martial artists. You've got male mage, female mage. You got a male priest and a female priest. You've got archers and thieves. I actually really like the cat character that you get early on, and it hits things with a fish. I think that's pretty cool. And
oh yeah, so I was wondering if that was a fish. It looked like a fish.
And enemies, your characters can jump on the back of it. And I actually like the cutscene for the cat's twin move.
Don't mind, we're still...
There's a moth that you can use. I've never used the climb on the back of the moth. Rita's got a jack-o'-lantern in her party, which she found one area where all the enemies will immediately target the jack-o'-lantern if you even bring them out. So I guess that's an anti-jack level.
You gotta use your mind carefully.
It could just be monsters that they go after.
I was going to say, I'm in an area right now where there's, slimes with cow heads on it, and most of the other ones, because I'm on the second chapter where I gotta track down a girl named Cicely, and she sent out mostly mages, so I gotta work my way around the board. And by the way, just so you know, for example, say this item is this lipstick is a item in the game.
Yeah, and it gives magical protection if you use the lipstick. You can use it to go into, and you get 100 enemies on the floor. And I don't know what various items do, but with weapons, you can upgrade the weapons.
I'd like to say something about the level thingy. When you go into the item, say like the lipstick, where you want to level, the lipstick could be a item for poison resistance, for example, and you can keep increasing it.
So it's 100% poison resistance if you've done enough of it.
If you go into the game, into the item part, where you can go into the item levels, as they call it, there's apparently 100 enemies.
We haven't gotten to that point yet.
I said apparently, yes. By CGR Undertow, there's 100 enemies on the board, but there's 100 floors per item.
Ooh.
So you can spend an entire day just playing it.
Just going through one item, and of course you can't save while in the item. So you have to go through all 100 floors of 100 enemies, so you better be pretty darn strong. That's probably why it's still locked for us. We're not strong enough to make it through without losing every character. So, then there's a thing that you have called training. And the training dojo, you can take various characters of you and put them through various training regimens. They might learn spell casting. They might learn... speed by running on a treadmill, or fighting by fighting an invisible fiend. There's all sorts of things you can do, and you want to put your characters, not your main characters, into it, because it doesn't seem the 3 main characters use it. You get to put them in it, but they don't appear, and they don't seem to get any bonus. I've checked that out. Now, maybe they do get a bonus, but I haven't seen it go up. The bonuses go up by how many levels you complete and how many fights you get into, so it actually does a good job to get into as many fights as possible. As you level up the items, or the training sessions, you can add in more people. You might unlock a new training thing. And, for instance, the treadmill is speed. You could put a character like the thief on there who benefits from speed to raise his speed even higher, or actually it's a her speed even higher. And when she gets to a certain point, you might want to move her to attack higher, because each training session only has one of the elements that it works on. So then you could put some slow character on there and another slow character on there to make them faster. Which really helps with the stronger characters, because the stronger characters are really slow. But I haven't noticed that speed really makes much difference anyways. It's not like you get to move twice during a turn or anything. That would be kind of cool to see. Anyways, next section that we should talk about is, who is this game for age-wise? Honestly, this is a game that I would buy probably a 10-year-old at least. There is a few sexual comment things that I've seen.
Teen adolescence, what they recommend right there.
Yeah, so they say teen to adolescent on there. I'd say it's okay for younger. The sexual connotations that do come out are usually over the heads of what they would understand anyways. The game is fun, and because of the strategy, it actually can help learn on, well, how do I strategize to do this? And strategy is something that helps in life no matter what you're doing. It helps you organize yourself. It helps you figure out the best options. Like when you go into a kitchen to cook, having all your spices and stuff already set up, so all you have to do is dump them in the pot in order when they're ready, which I've learned to do. But some people just sit there and they're like, okay, now what do I need? And then they got to go to the fridge and measure it out. And by that point, it's already scorching in the pan, and, well, they don't understand why they can't cook it. Have your ingredients set aside. I know a lot about cooking. But this game teaches that stuff, and the evilness of it isn't very evil. I mean, yeah, you're playing in the underworld, and you're trying to take over as the lord of the underworld because his father died, and he feels that he's best suited as the son of the former overlord. So he wants to become overlord. And apparently it's not a matter of lineage succession. So he's battling for it. And that's kind of a cool idea. And there's a fallen angel in the party too. And she just wants everything to be nice and cute and friendly. And honestly, the enemies are usually cute and friendly. Your characters are cute and friendly for the most part. I haven't noticed anything truly evil about it. It's just the story, and the story is not to be taken that serious. So, anyway, I mean, you know,
I do want to.
It's not like some horror games out there like Silent Hill where there's blood and guts and gore everywhere and disgusting stuff and guys leaping out with chainsaws. It's not a zombie game with the zombies attacking people and eating their brains, and you actually get to see them eating a person, which can be kind of gory. There's nothing gory in this game. When you beat a character, it vanishes. The cutscenes don't show anything. Now, the worst I'd say is that at the end of each level, there's usually a very large-breasted woman in some scene, which those are some of the most sexual-based scenes there are, and they're still fully clothed. So it's just they seem to be having fun. So I wouldn't really consider that something to try to keep them away from either. However, they seem to have nothing to do with the game. That's another thing in the game that I don't like, but I do like. It just doesn't add to the game's playability, and it makes you wonder, what are these? But I don't know. I don't think I have much more to say about it. Do you have anything more to say about it?
I do. But I'm also trying to finish up our dinner too. Anyway,
I can do that.
Let me wash my hands for a second. Anyway,
and she's got turkey on her hands. And I got to pull out the turkey bones.
I already did.
Oh, you did?
You can go take a look right now when I finish up.
Yes, because sometimes you miss them.
So,
you almost stepped on Moppy.
Sorry, Moppy. So, I wanted to say to you all, this game is, in my opinion...
I give it a 10.
I give it a 10, but I also want to say I think the humor on it is pretty good when you change your army's personalities. You know, each character you get to build, you get to choose their personality. And I find some of the personalities just to be funny, humorous, or, etc.
Oh, yeah, various different personalities do different benefits, too, to the character. So you might want 3 of each character so you get all 3 benefits.
I've also learned that the higher the level for, say, points you use after level crunching for, say, creating a character, like, for example, if I make a new character named Moppy 2, I can make Moppy 2 a mage, for example, and the mage could have, like, one of my mages I just made had fire and wind, whereas the next one, the higher levels up, you can start with basic fire, lightning, fire, ice, and wind. I've not seen lightning magic at all in this game. So
and you can build characters based on how much mana you have. It costs 10 mana, I think, to build a piss poor character. So-so characters like 20 or whatever, and an average character is 50. But for the ones above average, it's like 1,000 and 5,000 mana, which is really hard to come by, at least at this point so far. And to build those, you have to get approval of the assembly, and I haven't gotten to that point yet, so I don't know how it works. I know that you have bombs that you can throw at the assembly members to wake them up. Apparently, they'll try to sleep through it or something. I've not gotten there yet, but based on items I've gotten...
well, anyways, Aaron would say it itself. I got one other video to make, so please add and subscribe.
And we want to get to the Brown-Seattle game.
Please post comments,
which is in 2 minutes.
Suggestion, and etc.
Bye, and watch us again.
May you...
Have a happy
Please
holiday.
add and subscribe if you like. Post comments, leave feedback. Thank you, and may God bless you all.